What is good, y'all? This is Pro Momo Gaming back for 2K24 talking defense today. We got some updates. So they say. So they say. You got to take this with a grain of salt. We never really know what's going to happen until we get this game in our hands. But we're going to talk about defense today. And first off the bat, they're talking about they buffed. So we talk about nerf and buff. Have you ever listened to buff and nerf on these tweets from Mike Wang, Appalooba? Buff and nerf. So buff means something is gained some kind of statistical or percentage within the game. So say steals were buffed. That means steals are increased, or the ability to steal has been increased. Nerfing is something that's been decreased. Some people don't talk about this. They just use this terminology as if you motherfuckers know what's going on. So buff and nerf. Buff is a plus, nerf is a minus. So they say they have buffed paint defense, so people aren't just getting dunked on all the time. Strength and size may matter. Really don't know until you get the game. That's why we say, so they say. So they say it's been fixed. Paint defense, a big thing last year. A lot of people getting dunked on by 6'1" guards, just running by people. Defenders, more so in the park, but obviously happens in the rec center as well. So, it can be a difficult thing to watch and be a part of if you're not a big cheesehead or one of those players who, quote unquote, adapts to the game. Like you should every year. Every year is a different output by 2K. They're always looking for that extra edge to gain more popularity in the culture, in the video game space. So we'll see how paint defense looks this year. But what else we're dealing with is just some unbelievable stuff. You move on to adrenaline bars. These are back again this year, but now on defense, the adrenaline bars are going to take a hit. You'll lose adrenaline bars every time you make a steal attempt or a block attempt, and thus, because of those attempts, if you're a out of control player, if you're running around trying to steal every ball, trying to block every shot, and there's no real feel for the defense when you're playing it, you're just running around with a chicken with his head cut off, you're going to lose 20% on the first bar, 40% on the second bar, and when you lose all three bars, your skill points are going to be down 75%. So say you have a 90 block or an 80 steal, you're going to be down to 20, 30, to a 20 or 30 overall. So you're basically useless at that point. They say you're supposed to keep the speed and agility. We'll talk about the offensive end in the next video, but you're supposed to keep that ability to be fast, that acceleration, that speed, but the ability to block and steal are going to be limited down if you're wasting all of those on spamming those buttons. So good luck to everybody on that end. If, like I say, so they say. So they say. We'll all see how this is implemented. There's a lot of new things that 2K's added this year. We'll talk about that in another video, but I figured to start with defense, talk about offense. We'll get into, the new season pass, the pay-to-play gimmick. 2K always trying to make some money out here, trying to get some more VC sold. Got to make those the dividends for their stockholders, no doubt about it. Also on the defensive end, defending ball handlers. Big problem in the last, 5-7 years playing 2K, where they've added just crazy amount of cheese moves, just left and right moves, things that just don't happen in basketball. People dribbling around for 20 seconds of a shot clock, running to the corner, hitting a fadeaway three with 3 seconds on the shot clock. And always a big drawback for me, just being a basketball player my whole life, and then trying to play 2K in the rec center, just trying to get a semblance of real basketball. Obviously, you're playing in the rec. It's 5-on-5. You got referees. You got fouls. There should be some kind of similarity to actual basketball, but That has been hard reach, hard to find, and lacking in the last 10 years. It just gets worse and worse. This year they say though you're able to stop some of this dribbling by actually playing defense. So we'll see if that works. Obviously, nobody plays defense in this game anyway. Defense is not rewarded. Offense is always given that A+. If you're playing defense, you lock a guy down somehow, the guy who's given up 40 points has a better grade than you. It's a bad system. Shouldn't be working that way, but what are you going to do? That's 2K's motto. They don't care about actual basketball. They just want to get people to play the game, buy more clothes, get the aesthetics. They want people to go for the level 40s. They want to get more builds, wasting more money. And everything takes time in this game. If you're a grinder, you go no money spent. Good luck with that. So hopefully some of these defensive things that they say they've implemented are actually going to work out. And lastly, on the defensive side, they're talking about shot contests. So now this year, your body positioning is going to matter just as much as your hand location. And, it's a difficult thing because there's a good number of shooters in the NBA who it doesn't matter how close you are in their face, underneath them, they can still hit shots. But we're talking about shooters here. No NBA shooter is shooting 60% from the field goal, from 2 or from the 3-point line combined. That's where you get your field goal percentage. Threes are part of your field goal percentage. 3-point percentage is just threes. People got to understand these kind of things. I think people get a little confused on what's actually happening in this, in the statistical part of actual basketball. So hopefully some of these these defensive implementations that 2K has added will help on the defensive end and allow some of these different kind of minded players be able to succeed. And it's all about if they can do it. So they say. I haven't seen any part of the game. The game comes out in about 2 weeks. We haven't seen any gameplay. Seen a trailer. And I don't know what kind of game wants to be successful without putting out any kind of information. It's just it's a sad time for, especially a basketball fan. Been playing NBA Live since the iteration of it. Started playing Bird vs. Magic or Bird vs. Jordan, Bulls vs. Blazers, Lakers vs. Bulls, old Sega, old Nintendo. I played every basketball game under the moon, and it just gets worse and worse, throughout the years. And then you get these unfortunate people who think that they exploit the game. They're cheesers. People go left and right, ball handlers. They just exploit little parts of the game that somehow 2K is allowed to, exist throughout the whole season of, 2K23, 2K22, 2K21. Either it's the ability to hit any kind of shot just because you have a 90 3-point ball. There's nobody in the NBA who can shoot 60% from downtown in a season. So how people are able to hit 18 out of 23 threes in a game, I don't care how open you are, nobody can do it in an NBA game. It just doesn't work that way. So inside of a rec center, inside of a pro-am, those kind of statistics should be, people have fatigue. Nobody can play 12-minute quarters, or in this case 5-minute quarters, and be at full fatigue the whole time. Stamina and fatigue is a thing that exists. That's why people call timeouts. That's why you have bench players, yada, yada, yada. I understand that doesn't exist in the rec center, but that kind of thing has to be part of something. Fatigue has to be something. If someone's taking 23 shots, you're getting tired. Nobody has the ability to just, unless you have a 99 stamina, extra Gatorade boosts and all that kind of jazz. So we'll see what this defense looks like on 2K. We're going to talk about offense in the next video. This is Pro Momo Gaming. Don't forget, check the bottom of the screen at Reese45MC on Twitter, Instagram. We'll get back at you. Appreciate the like and the follow. Whatever we're stepping up. We're trying to get to 1,000. We're at 930 right now. Trying to get those 1,000 subscribers. Hit that monetization. Peace, y'all.